Hello. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Welcome back to my FlossTube channel. This is a FlossTube Extra where I talk about changing my plans again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about my cross stitch, and apparently I change plans like I change my underwear. If you are returning to my channel, welcome back. And I know that you're here for it because I've been posting variously that, I've been posting in Facebook, and I think I posted on the community tab that I would be posting this video tonight. So I guess I better get a move on with filming this because it's getting kind of late. But I'm changing my plans again. So I have talked about in my last FlossTube that about my potential plans for 2025, right? And this is why I don't like talking about next year's plans, because I did this in the spring and I was so excited about the plans that I had made that I decided to change it up and do those plans, right? Well, now I'm talking about new plans for 2025. I got so excited, I decided I wanted to go ahead and start it now. So we're going to do that. But I needed to film this before I film my FlossTube, so that when I film my FlossTube, I could pull the projects and it makes a lot more sense. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a brief rundown of them, and then we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about them in more detail. I stole this idea. Well, I didn't steal. I'm borrowing this idea from Kelly over at Kel's Stitches. She has a limited number of whips that she works on, and she has very large goals for all of them for the entire year. And the more I've been watching her progress all year on this stuff, and it's fabulous. Go check her out. But yeah, totally taking her idea and running with it. I want to have big goals for my projects, which I was trying to do kind of this year, last year. I keep changing my stuff, trying to find a good method to my madness, because I have a lot of projects. You guys know I have a lot of projects. The amount of projects doesn't bother me, but there are projects that I really want to get a lot of progress on. And so I figured this would be a good thing to try out. So I'm going to limit the number of projects I work on between my full coverage and my non-full coverage. My full coverage projects that I have to pick from will have a goal of 10,000 stitches. My non-full coverage will have a goal of 5,000 stitches. And then I have new starts. My new starts will have goals of 3,000 stitches. And then I have some projects that are potential finishes, and those have a goal to finish them. So I'm limiting the number of pieces I work on, right? My full coverage and non-full coverage pieces, I'm going to limit myself to 20 from each category. 10 of them are projects I picked that I was like, I want this one, this one, this one, this one. And then the other 10 are going to be random draws, which we are going to do tonight. And my new starts, I have them in a bucket. I'm going to limit myself on my new starts so when I film my FlossTube, I'm going to pick 2 full coverage pieces, 2 non-full coverage pieces, 1 new start, and 1 potential finish. And not necessarily to potentially finish it by the end of the week, but just to get more work on it. And I'm limiting myself to those 6 because I still have my Hade cell that I need to work on, because I want to finish that by the end of the year. My Honeymoon Sunset, because even though my challenge is done, which if you saw my community post, you saw I finished my challenge of 25,000 stitches, but I'm keeping it out, and I'll go over that later. And then I also have a new start that's not counted in all of this, because it is a piece that my older son specifically asked me to start this year for him and finish it, because it's like 6,600 stitches or something. So I told him once my Honeymoon Sunset challenge was done, I would go ahead and bring that into like kind of my focus pieces, because now I'm a little bit more relaxed with Honeymoon Sunset. So that's going to be kind of a focus piece as well. So I have 3 focus pieces. Oh, plus my whip of shame. So I'm keeping the whip of shame for right now. I was going to get rid of it because I was like, well, when it gets pulled, it's gonna get more stitches with these goals than doing it as a whip of shame. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what, all my whips of shame right now all need a lot of work, so we're gonna keep them I'm gonna keep a whip of shame going. It's whatever. I'm not telling you what the whip of shame is. That's going to be a surprise for the floss tube for the month of August, because today's August 2nd. So I'm keeping my whip of shame winner for the month of August a surprise for right now. But I will keep the whip of shame. So it's 4 focus pieces really. And then the 6, 2, 4, 6, yeah. And then the 6 pieces I'm going to draw. So it's still 10 projects. I keep saying a lot because I'm trying to think of what I want to say so I'm not like repeating myself too much. So like I said, okay, so let's go over the new starts. The new starts, I still have well over 100 to start. So I ain't short on new starts at all. And that's not even counting the stuff like, you know, this is just the new starts that I had ready to go at the beginning of the year. This is not counting anything that I kind of got at the last minute or the smaller things that I've gotten throughout the year. And I'll add those in at a later date. Now that I'm kind of doing this, I don't have like a dead set list that I'm working off of. So I'm going to pick 1 new start per week. If I start it, its goal will be 3,000 stitches. Once I start it, it will go either into the full coverage or the non-full coverage basket to be picked until it hits its goal of 3,000 stitches. I'm limiting myself to 5 new starts at a time, like where they have goals of 3,000 stitches. Because if I just keep doing this and I start a new project every week, then I'm going to end up with way too many to work with, right? So I'm limiting myself to 5 new starts with goals going at once. So if I pick new starts for the next 5 weeks and I start all 5 of them, then I'm not going to pick a new start anymore. I will probably just pull an extra project from something else. And then once the 3,000 goal gets hit, it will get set aside and I'll pull a new start to replace it. If I don't want to start a project, if I pull a new start and I don't want to start a new project that week, no big deal. I'll put it back in the bucket and I pull a new one. But I'm going to limit myself to 5 new starts going at once until they hit their 3,000. The full coverage projects, once they hit their 10,000 stitches, they go away, they get replaced with a new full coverage piece. The non-full coverage pieces, when they hit their 5,000, they go away and they get replaced with another piece unless they are close to being finished. Same with the new starts. The full coverages, when they hit their goal, there's no way they're going to be potential finishes. So that's why I'm like, they're just going to get replaced. New starts, because some of my new starts are pretty small. New starts and non-full coverages, if they hit their goal of 3,000 or 5,000 stitches and they're close, when I look, I'm like, they're pretty close to being finished, they will go into the potential finish basket. And then, like I said, the potential finish, I'm going to pull it out. That's probably going to be one that I definitely try to work on to try to get them completed. So the other thing is that once something is going to be replaced, so the replacements aren't going to happen for a while, because I'm kind of, even if I pull a piece that I've already put work in on this year, these goals are starting fresh. They're all starting at 0. So we're not going to be replacing anything for a while. But if this works for me, which I feel like it will, these plans are going to carry through 2025 and beyond. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, if the goal that's completed is one that I picked, then I will pick the replacement. If the goal that's completed was a random pick, then a random pick will be drawn to replace it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to show you the Haid Cell or Honeymoon Sunset because I show those all the time in my regular floss tubes. You guys know what they look like. And you'll see the full Honeymoon Sunset piece in my floss tube of my complete progress. I will go ahead and show you the potential, or Peyton's, my older son. I'm gonna go ahead and show you his piece that's gonna become my new focus piece. That is from Stitchman Darcy. It's called Yippee-Ki-Yay Motherfucker. He's 14. Like, so don't come at me about the language. I mean, if you're a returning subscriber, you know how I am. And if you're new, that's just part of me. That's who I am. So anyway, let me show it again. Yippee-Ki-Yay Motherfucker. It's from Die Hard. If you've never seen the movie, honestly, I've never actually watched the movie in its entirety. But I know the movie, and I know that's what it's from. And I'm just going to be stitching it on a 14 count Aida, white Aida. But he saw the floss tube like forever ago where Darcy showed his stitch of it. He was like, oh my god, I love it, you know. And then he mentioned it was in his Etsy shop, and oh my god, Mom, can you get it? So I ended up getting it last year. I've yet to start it, so I told him I would make that a focus piece. Okay, let me put this over here. I'm going to show you the potential finishes first. So my potential finishes for the basket, first up is from Maya Stitch, and this is called Autumn Gnomes. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm not really going to go into detail about what it's stitched on. I'm just going to show you my starting point. And actually, let me get my tablet real quick, because even though there's 3 gnomes and I'm only this far with it, when I have the piece in Pattern Keeper, and when I pulled it up in Pattern Keeper, of course it doesn't show the back stitching on Pattern Keeper, but I can get all the cross stitching off of it and mark my pattern. When I pull up Autumn Gnomes in Pattern Keeper, the total cross stitch count is 4,608 stitches, and I'm already 31.45% done with the cross stitching. So yeah, it's potential finish. Okay, the next one is Bake This World. I don't really have these in, these might be in alphabetical order because I was going off of my list, which was in alphabetical order. But this is from Franny Ritter Designs, and it's called Bake the World a Better Place. And that's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm working off of the pattern that's like printed on the back of that little thing, so I don't really know how far, but I've got the cross stitching completed on, like, except for, I have to get beads, I just realized that. But this cupcake is completely done. The word better is done, those hearts, the cross stitching for this one is done. I have to do the back stitching on it. And then this one is started, so I just have 2 more cupcakes, and we'll finish that cupcake, then 2 more on this side, like this stuff, and like I have to get the beads, but I mean, this isn't going to take very long to do. So that's a potential finish. Next up is a piece where last year I was like, this is going to be a finish early in the year. And did that happen? No. This is a retired pattern from Stitch Area. Best friends quote. My old viewers, you remember this piece? Ooh, this is going to be a finish in the beginning of the year, next year. I said this last year, and it still is not a finish. This is where I'm at with it. It's almost done. I have to finish this up. The chopstick, I can't remember if I have to backstitch the chopsticks or not. I got to finish Holiday Armadillo. The More Turkey goes right here. Wapa goes right there. I got to finish. This is Regina Phalange's name tag. I have to backstitch the turkey. Finish the duck. Big Fat Goalie. I think that's it. It's almost done. So, potential finish. Next up for potential finishes is another bookmark. I think I've completed 2 bookmarks so far this year. Have not finished them into bookmarks, but bookmark cups is what I'm calling it. It's a kit from Busilla. I already finished this one. This will be potential finish. There's the one I finished already, still attached to this one, but that's where I'm at with that. So 4 cups and back stitching, and then the bottom right there. The next potential finish is a Dolly Mama kit from Jan Lynn. It's Dolly Mama coffee. It says bring coffee and no one gets hurt. And this one is like one of my newer starts, but it's not very big, so I kind of feel like it's like that. I know it doesn't, but I mean, it's not a lot. So like her face and her body are mostly back stitching. And I don't know yet if I'm gonna do that border. I might do the border, I might not. I don't know, we'll see. And then is the other Dolly Mama piece that I have, and this one is Dolly Mama Ho. That's what she's gonna look like. I'm further along with her. Tuck these under my fat. To have her dress almost, I think her dress might be completely done, but that's where I'm at with her. So she's a lot further along. Then next up are, is it both? 2? Come on. Oh, nuts. Hang on a second. Oh, I need my computer because I gotta double check. Hang on, now I need my mouse. Because for some reason my mouse pad is not, I think my mouse pad's locked. Okay. I think my younger son locked the mouse pad on the laptop, so I need my mouse. Because I haven't unlocked it. Yeah, carousel and train. Okay. That's all I needed that for. Okay, so the next 2 potential finishes are from Gingerbread, Twin Peak Primitives, the Gingerbread Smalls from 2022. Carousel and train. So the train is right here, and this is the carousel over here. So that one and that one. This one is started, but it's still kind of in the early stages. And then these would all be new starts because I'm doing them all in the same fabric but finishing them separate. I don't know why I said that the train would be a potential finish, but it doesn't look like there's gonna be a whole lot to, I know. But I don't know, I felt like the train would be a potential finish. And then That's the carousel right there. I may have, when I selected the potential finishes, I was kind of going off of memory, so I may have kind of been an overachiever on those two, but it's okay. Next up is another piece from Maya Stitch, and this one is called Grinch Gnome and Company. And I will have to show you a mock-up on Pattern Keeper. But this is like Autumn Gnomes, where it's only 5,472 stitches, but I already have like over 1,200 stitches on it. So I'm already 22.6% done. View mock-up. That's without the back stitching right there. And I have the middle gnome completely done. So I just need to do the other two. When I pull them on my floss tube, I'll kind of, like when I work on them on my floss tubes, then I'll kind of go over the fabric and stuff. Next up on the list is Halloween letters from Primrose Cottage Stitches. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And, oh my sweetie, I need a table. That's where I'm at with it. So I've got Witch's Brew and Eeks and Shrieks done. So I just need 5 more lines. That one, that one, that one. 4 more lines and that one, because these two are done. Next up is my Penis Popsicles piece. This is Hello Summer from It's So Emma. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is where I'm at with it. You see what I mean? Penis Popsicles. That's where I'm starting with it. I still have to film a floss tube and I have to select projects, so I'm trying to like go through these kind of quickly. And the last one on the potential finish, not a lot right now of potential finishes, but you know, it's whatever. Last one on the potential finishes list is from Puntini Puntini. This is Just One More Chapter and Other Lies I Tell Myself. And this is, oh my God. This is my starting point with it. So those are my potential finishes so far. Like I said, the list will be added. Projects will be added to it either as their goals are met and I'm like, this could be done, or as if I think about something and I'm like, oh my God, this thing's almost done, I'll go ahead and throw it in there. Okay, so what I'm going to show you first is my full coverage pieces that I selected. And the first one up is from the Cross Stitch Studio. So I'm going to show you my picks for everything, both full coverage and non-full coverage, and then we're going to pick pieces for both. So those projects I just showed, I will draw one a week and work on it until it, but I'll draw a new one. Like I'm not going to pull one and then just only have that one out until it's done. Like I'm going to pull it, it's going to be just like the other ones. So I'll just pull a different one every week and I will just keep kind of plugging away at them until they are done. So next up is my full coverage pieces. These are these all have goals of 10,000 stitches. And once the 10,000 stitches gets done, which will be a while, but once the 10,000 stitches gets done, I'm looking for this piece, then it will get replaced with something else. So the first one up is Peaceful Jaguar. This is a crop of a larger piece from the Cross Stitch Studio. And artwork is by Lucy Bilodeau. I don't know how to say it. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I will go ahead and tell you the percentage completed so far on this stuff. Like, not this many stitches out, this many stitches. I'm just going to tell you the percentage. So this is my starting point, and I am currently at 2.10%. And then is from the next one is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and artwork is by Ciro Marchetti. This is Jukebox Max Color. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am currently at 0.50% on this one. I was like, why is it looking weird now? There we go. I'm at 0.50% on this one. I just want to show the cover photo one more time because the Peaceful Jaguar, I like cats of all sizes. So of course that's a natural pick for me. But this one here, Jukebox, it's so cool. It's just so cool. It's got the records and the notes and the instruments and the jukebox, of course, but I just think it's a really cool piece. So that's why I picked that one. Okay, next one is one I started this year. And this is another piece from Heaven and Earth Designs. Alara, the bag that I got from you at the retreat, this is the one. That's the bag I have. This is from Alara Designs. FYI, I'm going to give her a shameless plug. Alara opened up an Etsy shop and she has bags. I don't know if she sold out of her bags already or not, but this is the bag that I got from her at the retreat. I got it because it looks like a little bit like Mr. Whiskers. I don't know if he's going to make an appearance in this video or not, but it's really nice. It's got the vinyl front and it's got the pocket in the front, so you can slide your pattern in here and have it separate from, like, you could slide the cover photo or the pattern in the front and then your project in the back, and this snaps. And I don't have she makes handles and straps as well. I didn't get those because I store all my stuff in containers, so I didn't get the straps, but she puts holes in them so that you could attach, that way you can hang them up or carry them or what have you. Anyway, okay, so next up is Coming to Room, and I purchased a bag off of her Etsy shop that was of a cat on a piano, and she was like, don't you already have that one? I was like, no, this is the one I have. So I'll show you that bag when I get it. Coming to Room, where is it? It's Max Color. Artwork is by Jan Patrick Kresny, and it is just the coolest thing. I absolutely love it. And I am currently, that's my starting point. I just started it this year. I really wanted to get some more work on it, but it's currently at 0.11%. So then my next one, wow, another Heaven and Earth Designs. I did not realize how many of them that I picked. But the next one is Springtime Splendor Max Color. Artwork is by Randall Spangler. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I love the colors. I love the purple. So I really love all the purples in it. And then there's a fairy up here, which I actually honestly didn't even realize until I think, and there's another one over here. It took me a while before I realized there was fairies up in the sky. But then his two little draglings that he's pretty famous for, they're down here. Isn't that cute? So this piece, I am currently at 4.58% done. And this is my starting point with it. I have a bunch of part threads over here that I'll have to get worked in. So I'll probably make that my first priority, and then most likely count my way up. All of my projects that are full coverage, I'm going to convert to diagonals like I'm doing on Honeymoon Sunset. But I think I don't know, I might count my way up and go ahead and, I don't know, I'm kind of scared, but I'm doing it on easy count fabric. So it's not like, as long as I triple check my squares, I should be good. But I kind of want to just count up and start doing diagonals on it. And then just like, you know, work those threads, those park threads in as I get to it. I don't know, I'm kind of nervous about that. Okay. Next up is another Heaven and Earth Designs piece. They're not my Heaven and Earth Designs. I actually prefer Cross Stitch Studio, but I just happen to pick a lot of Heaven and Earth Designs, apparently. Birdhouse Gardens by Cyril Marchetti. I love the colors in this piece. It's so fun, and I've worked on it recently and I forgot how much I loved it, so I wanted to get more work on it. And this one, I am currently sitting at 2.36%. And that is my, I'm in the middle of converting this to a diagonal. That's why it doesn't have a straight diagonal line, but that's my starting point for that. And then this one is from Charting Creations, and it's called Checking the List. I haven't worked on this one in a while. Artwork is by Marcelo Corti. I adore this. I love the grayscale background with the Santa and all his bright redness. And I actually have two other pieces that are that style that are going to be new starts whenever I pull them. But this is where I'm at with it so far. That's my starting point with it. And I am at 3% exactly with it. So I might be almost 10% done once I get that goal completed. I might be almost 10% done with that piece. That'd be good. Next up is probably my second most favorite project that I own. Honeymoon Sunset is my favorite. I think this one is a good runner-up for my second favorite. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio, and this is called Fairy Tale Cottage. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. I have, compared to my other pieces, I think it's kind of a pathetic start on it. Well, it's not really a pathetic start. I just don't have as much work on it as I would like, but God, I really, really love it. And it's got like the mountains in the background with like the river coming down and the waterfall, and there's ducks down here. Like I just love it. And I am currently at 3.41%. I guess that's not too bad. I would like to be further though. And I haven't gotten to work on this all year. But this is, so I started in the corner over here, and then I've worked down this way as well. Because my idea was I was going to do extreme cross country with 939, and I got down to here and I got tired of it, so I decided to start filling stuff in. But yeah. Okay, then I feel like I have hair on my arm. Oh, I do. Where is it? Then another piece from the Cross Stitch Studio. Here we go. Now we're getting into my Cross Stitch Studio pieces. I was starting to get confused. Next up is White Tiger Ghost. Artwork is by Patrick Dempsey? Nope, Jeremy Paul. This is a crop of a larger piece. I feel like Darren might be doing the larger one. Maybe? Or he Dizzy Stitcher? I know the light keeps changing when I show the tablet. It's whatever. I feel like Darren has the larger one. Or he also has the crop. I could be mistaken though. I am at 5% on this one. That's my starting point, 5%. I meant to show this when I was showing it. I love his eyes. Look at his blue and gold eyes. I love it. Boop. Kitty. Okay, next up is another piece from the Cross Stitch Studio. And this one is another piece from Abraham Hunter. I really love his work. Hiding Place. And that's what it's going to look like when it's done. I think Darren might have this one too, actually, now that I think about it. I started it first though, neener. But he's got a cropped version. I think his is that much. I have the whole thing because, you know, go big or go home. Well, I am home, but I'm currently at 2% on this one. And that's my starting point. And the last full coverage piece is from Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is a stocking. I have a stocking picked for each of my kids. So honestly, when I finish this goal, I'm probably going to pull the other stocking to replace it. But this is the Enchanted Reindeer by Donna Gelsinger. And that's what it's going to look like when it's done. I feel like somebody I know is stitching an ornament of this. I feel like someone I know. I want to say Darren, but I feel like I keep saying his name a lot. I am at 20% on this. That's where I'm at on that. I picked this one over the other stocking because this one had less progress on it. All right, so those are the full coverages that I chose to have goals of 10,000 stitches. Now let's get into the non-full coverage pieces that I picked. Not too bad, 40 minutes so far. It's probably going to be a 2-hour video. First up, for non-full coverage pieces that I picked is, first one is by Shannon Christine Designs. And this is Autumn Favorites. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. These are mostly all, I want to say, paper patterns, so I will not have a percentage on them. And that is my starting point with it. So these projects that I'm going to show you now all have goals of 5,000 stitches. And if they get finished before the 5,000 stitches, great. If they are close to being finished when they hit their 5,000 stitches, then they will go into the finish basket. Then my fancy lady. So I decided that I wanted to have one fancy lady on the go. So when this one gets done, I will pull out, most likely I will do my Mermaids of the Sea style, but this is Nightingale, and Yoshi, the cross stitch guy, he is also starting this one on different fabric. And this is my, oh boy, which way does it go? I'll figure it out when I pull it out to work on it. Pretty sure it goes this way. Pretty sure that it goes this way. I could be mistaken, but it doesn't matter right now because it looks like nothing. But I'm pretty sure it goes that way. So that's my starting point on her. I just started her this year. But yeah, I wanted to have a fancy lady in the works. So I picked her. I have other fancy ladies I need to match up to fabric, and then they will slowly start getting into the rotation as well. Next up is from Sugar Stitches Design, and this is, it's a Marshmallow World, and I picked this one because I absolutely adore this piece, and I loved, when I started it, I loved how it was turning out, and I really just want to work on it more. So this will get another 5,000 stitches. Next up is, so I was kind of thinking something like this where, especially because these are pieces that I picked, when their goals get met, if I have something of a similar nature, I'm going to switch it out for something in that same thing. So this one is Autumn Sampler from Cooler Design Studio. Artwork is by Sandy Orton. So I'm thinking, we'll see how I feel when I get done with the 5,000, but I'm thinking when I get this one done, I will switch it out for one of my other samplers from Cooler Design Studio. And this is my starting point with it. Is this block done? I believe it might be. I think that harvest block might be done. In here, I think I just have to backstitch this, but I don't know. I gotta double check. But that's my starting point with it. The only thing I have left to do is to backstitch this part over here, but I wanted to wait until I got, so I was like, well, let me just get all this done first, and then I had to go back and backstitch that, but I had finished my goal last year before I did that. I think that's what it was. Okay, next up is from Soda Stitch, and this is called Cookie Time. I really love Soda Stitch's patterns. I have this one started. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I have this one started. I have others that I have, I think a couple that I need to get fabric for, but I have a couple that are ready to be started once they get drawn. And so I may or may not kind of do that where I may replace this. That's my starting point with it. I may or may not replace this with my other Soda Stitch pattern if I have that started before this goal gets completed. because I still have the other 10 right. So that's what I'm kind of thinking when I pull my replacements for stuff like this. I might try to replace them with something either by the same designer or something that's a similar nature of that style. Because the other ones will be random draws. So it's like the other stuff that's not like this is still got a chance of getting picked. So next up is Sweet Bee by Stitch Rovia. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is my starting point on it. I really love this piece a lot. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I love it so much. And I loved how it was, when I was working on it, I loved how it was turning out on this fabric. So that's why I picked it. Not that it matters why, but I just wanted you to know. And the next piece is a kit from Design Works. And this is called Coffee Break. I was working on this a lot last year because it was one of my focus pieces. The cover photo is beat up, but that's what it's going to look like when it's done. I was working on this a lot last year because it was one of my focus pieces. I didn't get my goal, last year. I don't think I got my goal completed on it, but that's okay. I just realized I have a needle in it. This is my starting point. I have 3 of the blocks done. And I'm completing each block in its entirety before I move on to the next one on this. So yeah. I'm getting excited about pulling projects and working on them again. Oh, I forgot to put the cover photo in it. Okay, next up is Holiday Quaker from Lila Studio. This has kind of a small start, but this is Holiday Quaker from Lila Studio. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I just started this, was it this year? I think it was this, yeah, because I didn't do any new starts last year. That's why I'm in so much trouble this year with all my new starts. And this is my starting point on it. I love the fabric that's going to go on. It's so pretty. Look at that. I'm excited. So when this one gets its goal done, I also have Halloween Quaker that I might replace it with when this one gets its goal done. And the last one is from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and this is Christmas Rules by Lindsay Waite. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. It says Christmas rules: deck the halls, drink hot chocolate, hang your stocking, build a snowman, spread joy, go sledding, and believe. And this is my, I'm just going to keep it folded up because you can see the whole thing. That's my starting point with it. I really love these rules pieces. I have Hive rules started. I also have autumn rules I need to start. They also have one that's like Welcome to the North Pole or something. I want to get that one. I've been seeing people stitch that and I love it. Okay, those are, oh wait, nope. My other pick, I forgot a couple things. My other pick for my non-full coverage is my Harry Potter Stitch Along, or Stitch Your Own Adventure. I'm only going to show you the cover photo of the parchments. The SAL is no longer available, but I'm doing this 3 times. One for myself and then one for each of my kids. The one that I picked to focus on is my younger son's, Lachlan. because his has the least amount of progress. My poor baby. My poor baby. My older son, I'm like, yeah, let me do this one and this one. And then my younger son, he hardly has anything. So I picked his piece to be my one of my focus pieces, or one of my 5,000 stitch goals. That's my starting point with it. I wanted to do something other than parchment, so I got to start on his house flag, which is Slytherin. But yeah. So I think when this goal gets done, I will probably switch this out to either mine or Peyton's. You'll see Peyton's progress in my floss tube video that will be posted after this one. I still have to film it, so don't think it's going to post immediately. But I'll show you Peyton's progress in my floss tube video. So let me put that over there. And then I forgot, for potential finishes, I need my computer again. For potential finishes is a couple calendar girls from Little House Needleworks. 3 calendar girls pieces. I thought that my potential finishes basket was kind of light there. I was like, wait a minute, I feel like there should be more. This ribbon. April, May, and September. Okay. Okay, so the first Calendar Girls piece that is a potential, so back to the potential finishes. These are from Little House Needleworks, and these were the Calendar Girls series from 2014. This one is September. Don't focus on me. And this is my starting point for that one. I'm trying to keep the fabric for them because I'm doing them all in the same fabric, but I already cut the fabric, so I'm trying to keep the fabric for them in the bags that they're in, that the individual patterns come in. Next one is May. That's my starting point with her. And then April. I think this might be my headless one. Did I do her head yet? No. This is my headless one. I have not done her head yet. So that's my starting point with her. So if you follow me closely and remember the pieces that I pulled last week, I think I pulled the July one and I did not start it. Spoiler alert, I did not work on it. I didn't start it. So she'll be in the new start bucket. I finished June and August. The 3 that I have started and have not finished yet, those will be potential finishes. And then the other ones will be in the new start bucket. And they're going to get done before their 3,000 new start. Their 3,000 stitch new start goal gets met because they're only like 1,500 stitches each. Okay, now what we're gonna do is I have projects everywhere, like all my bins are everywhere right now. So what I'm gonna do is, this is my non-full coverage basket. I'm going to pull the projects. I'm debating if I'm going to, no. I'm gonna pull all the papers out for both the full coverage and non-full coverage, and then I'm gonna pause the video, pull the projects, and then show them to you. Because I have a bin here, 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 back there, right here, over here. I have a bag here. I have some projects sticking out right here. Like it's a mess. Okay. So non-full coverage. First one up is 3 bird watchers. This, all right, let me move this over since I'm gonna, hang on, give me 1 second because I'm gonna put this here and this should be over here. This is a really old kit. This is actually in my Whip of Shame basket. So with the Whips of Shame, 3 bird watchers is going to come out of the Whip of Shame basket. So real quick, I'm still going to do the Whip of Shame every month, okay? If a Whip of Shame is in the current rotation, it will not be included in the Whip of Shame poll. Once that goal gets done, it will be put back into the Whip of Shame basket. But if it's in the current rotation, it is not going to get pulled. Because I'm not doing that. Okay, next up is, yay, Winter in the Village. Okay, next up is, woohoo, Mother Nature Halloween. Oh, this is exciting. Next up, so we're pulling 10. Norwegian Quaker flag. Excellent. Kind of a dud with the first pull, and now I'm getting good ones. Next up is, Privet Drive. I have not worked on this one in forever. All right, so there's 5 more. Okay. Next up is Home Sweet Home. Not too bad. Okay, next one, Baby ABC. Man, I got all excited with the first few. Now I'm like, Like, I like my projects, but sometimes I'm just like, Okay, I had to handwrite some, okay. I was having a time with my printer, and I'm not even going to go into the long sorted details of it, but I was having a time with my printer and I was getting irritated. I didn't have all the slips already printed, so I had to handwrite some of them. So this one's handwritten. Easter calendar, yay! Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. Sugar Cookie House. Now I have a Millhill kit in the mix. And I got a gnome, gingerbread gnome. Okay. So those are my 10 non-full coverages that are random picks. Now let me just put these back here. Let me grab my full coverage basket. Now I'm going to pick 10 out of here. First up, Apple Pie Harvest. Excellent. Next one is Family Vacation. Yes. Next one is Day to Night North America. Then Mr. Cardinal. And then Wool Shop. And then Day to Night Iceland. two day to night pieces. I have 4 of them. Next up is Cosmic Bowling. And then, you guys see that from Dude, Where's My Car? When they're at the drive-thru? And then, Mountain Cabin. And then, Christmas shops. And then, 3, 6, 9. Happy New Year. You know, it's funny. I had a feeling, I was like, watch me pull this one. And then, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No more and then. Okay. So, gonna pause the video, pull these projects. It's gonna be a 2-hour video again, I bet. Hour and a half maybe. I'm gonna pull these projects and I will be back to show you the final 20 of my limited stuff. Because like I said, I've got projects everywhere, so I don't really want to be like, oh, is it in here? Is it in here? Is it in here? So I'm going to pull the projects and I'll be back. Real quick, I realized after I did all my filming for my plans that I did not talk about Honeymoon Sunset's plans. And I was filming my floss tube when I realized that. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even talk about it. Because I didn't want to show it, because I wanted to show the project of Honeymoon Sunset in my floss tube. So I was like, well, I'll talk about it later. And then I completely forgot. So my plan for Honeymoon Sunset is so if you have not seen the floss tube yet, this is a little bit, and you have not seen my community post, spoiler alert, I'm currently sitting with Honeymoon Sunset at 34.5%. I did 25,000 stitches in 7 months. And that was like moving, not working on it for, like, a week or a couple weeks. And so I decided, and now I'm working on it in the diagonal. So now I'm like, before I was like, oh my God, once this 25,000 gets done, I'm done with it, right? But now that I'm working on it in the diagonal, I'm loving it again. So I was like, I want to keep it out. So my original plan when I was going to do 2025 plans was I was just going to keep plugging along with it. And then I was going to make my end of 2025 goal for this. Gracie's playing with something back there. So I was going to keep plugging away at it. And then my goal for 2025 was going to be to get it to 40%. And then I was doing the math on it, and I realized that if I got it to 45%, it would be under about 60,000 stitches. It was like 59,000 something. And I was like, well, if I start that goal now, I could easily get that done by the end of next year. So my new goal for Honeymoon Sunset will be to get it to, now if I hit 45% before the end of the year, next year, I'm going to keep going on it. But that's really what I wanted to do, was to get it to 45%. Like, as long as I'm loving this piece, I'm going to keep pushing myself to get this thing done. So my goal for the end is to get it to 45% by the end of next year. If I get past that, that's great. But yeah, so I'm at 34.5%. So basically I need to add 9.5% by the end of next year. So it's about almost, I'm going to do the exact math, and I'm going to have that on my board, on my tracking board. I'll do the math on that, and then I'll have it on my tracking board, how many stitches it's going to be. But yeah, that's my goal for Honeymoon Sunset, 45% by the end of 2025. And if I don't hit it, I mean, it's fine, it's whatever, but that's my goal. So back to the other video. Okay, 1 second for you, like 20 minutes for me. First up, we're going to do the non-fold coverages. First up is from Tiny Modernist, and this is Easter calendar. And that is what it's gonna look like when it's done. So again, these will get 5,000 stitches each. And that is my starting point with it. Yeah, the more I thought about it, doing it like this, the more excited I got about it, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some really good progress. And I wanted this many to pick from because you guys know I like variety. So I thought at least if I had this many to pick from, this will give me, if I get tired of something for a little bit, I can just kind of choose to not work on it that week or whatever until I'm like, okay, yeah, let me work on it again. Next up is from Maya Stitch, and this is called Privet Drive. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is one of my kitties. Hello, Gracie. Gracie Lou. Look at the little gray on her nose. She looks like petrified. Oh, stop it. She always sounds like you're murdering her. All right, get down. Okay, Privet Drive. This is my starting point on it. It's mostly like the piece itself, like the actual snow globe is like mostly full coverage. So once I get it all filled in and backstitched, I think it's gonna look really cool on the fabric. That's why I picked that one. Okay, next up is, it's stuck. Next up is a Mill Hill kit, and this is from the Buttons and Beads series, the spring series, and it's Sugar Cookie House. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done, and that is my starting point with it. And next up is, I've shown this recently, I feel like, because this was in my current whip list. This is from Design Works, it's Baby ABC. That's what it's gonna look like. Artwork is by Krista Hamrick. That is what it'll look like when it's done. It's similar to Coffee Break, same designer. That is my starting point with it. I have those two. I also have Ocean ABC and Christmas ABC started, and then I have Wedding ABC in my new start pile. And there's a couple others too, but I don't have those. Next up is from Stony Creek Collection, and this is Winter in the Village. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And that is my starting point with it. I have no idea what time it is right now. I know it's late. I think it's after 9 o'clock. I don't have a clock in here. I mean, I do, like, I have one on my phone, but I'm filming. I have one on my tablet, but Pattern Keeper's open. Pattern Keeper is open. And I have one on my computer, but my computer's not on. So I have no idea what time it is, but I'm pretty sure it's after 9 o'clock. So I feel like it was like around 8 when I started filming, and I've already filmed for like 50 minutes, and then I had to find my projects. Next up is from cutebrodery.com, and this is Gingerbread Gnome. That's what that'll look like when it's done. That's what that will look like when it's done. And this is my starting point on it. And there is a line of stitching going up this way, but it's hard to see. You can kind of see it right there. But that's my starting point with it. And I will reiterate my plans once I'm done. I'm obviously not going to show you the new starts. Like, there's too many of them, and I don't know when they're going to get pulled, and I'm only going to work on a few at a time. So Next up is Home Sweet Home. This is a kit from Designworks. Artwork is by Nanette Parisi. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And pretty sure this is how it goes. I'll figure it out once I pull it. I'm pretty sure that's how I was working on it. Next up is one of my really old kits. I guess this is a sign I need to get some work on it, right? This is an old Dimensions kit called 3 Bird Watchers. It's so old that it's got like this reminds me of like 1970s or 80s or whatever, but it's copyright 1997. This might now be my oldest kit. This might now be my oldest kit. The oldest piece I believe I had was Cuddly Bear Quilt from 1994, and I finished that. But this is my start. I want to say my pathetic start on it because this thing is 27 years old. And that's as far as I've gotten on it. So it's a sign that I need to get some work on it. So this will not be included in the Whip of Shame draws until this goal is met. Once this goal is met, then it will go in that basket. Okay. Next up is Mother Nature Halloween. This is from Just Cross Stitch magazine. It was a series that they put out in 2023. That's what she's gonna look like when she's done. And this is my starting point on her. I just started her this year, I think. Pretty sure it was this year. Like, I'm getting so confused because I've changed my plans so much. Yeah, it was this year because last year was when I had no new starts. Not on purpose, that's just how it worked out. Next up is another new start from this year. This is one of the Quaker tile flags from Bipsters. This one is the Norwegian flag. And I've only worked on this once, so I don't have a very big start on it. And that's my starting point. Pretty sure that's how it goes. I gotta look at Pattern Keeper when I pull it out to work on it to make sure this is how it goes. And next up, okay, so that was all of the non-full coverages. Now we're getting into the full coverages. I guess I gotta get my tablet back again. Okay, first up for the full coverages is a retired chart from Pain Free Crafts, and this is Wool Shop. Artwork is by Steve Crisp. Maybe. Here it is. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am currently at 0.39%. Now the lighting isn't, oh, there we go, there it focuses. The lighting isn't the greatest because again, it's like, you know, it's not late for me, but it's late. It's dark, which definitely means it's after 9 o'clock. But it was kind of cloudy at like 5:30. We're supposed to be getting a tropical storm coming in this weekend, and it's actually supposed to hit Tampa. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse than a tropical storm because Tampa, I've had hurricanes because I've lived all over Central Florida, but Tampa has not had a really bad storm in like 100 years. So it could be pretty devastating to the Tampa Bay area if we get a direct hit. I'm not in a flood zone though, still. I wasn't in my apartment. I'm not in this house either. Next up is Mountain Cabin Max Colors from Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Dominic Davison. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. Let me show you again because I was kind of quick on that. There we go. It's going to look really pretty when it's done. And that is my starting point, and I am currently at 0.32% complete. Next up is Mr. Cardinal, and this is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by, this one is by Dempsey Essick. I thought the other one was, and it wasn't. Mr. Cardinal, artwork by Dempsey Essick. Is this a crop? Nope. And I'm really glad that I randomly picked this piece because it was a potential for my own picks. But I opted for, I think, Peaceful Jaguar instead. This is my starting point, and I am at 2% exactly. It's one of my smaller ones. I either picked Peaceful Jaguar or White Tiger Ghost instead of this one. So I'm glad that that one got picked too. And next up is Happy New Year. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio. No, I'm a liar. This is from Cross Stitch for Everyone. I just have to find it. Here it is. View mock-up. So this is from Cross Stitch for Everyone. That's what that will look like when it's done. I am stitching the background. So that's where I'm at. I am at 1.06%. If I opted to do this on a darker fabric and not do the background, I would be a lot further along because there is 51,256 stitches of 939 remaining. Better than Alara's Dragons piece that has like 200,000 stitches of black and she's doing it all. Okay, next up is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and this is Cosmic Bowling. Out of all my Heaven and Earth Designs pieces, I think this one, so I'm kind of surprised I didn't pick it. But I think out of all my Heaven and Earth Designs pieces, this one is probably my absolute favorite. Artwork is by Amy Stewart. So I'm glad that it got picked, like randomly drawn, because I just love it. It's a bowling birthday party, essentially. You got the pizza, the beer. I mean, there's no birthday cake, but you got the arcade, the disco lights. Like, it's fun. And it reminds me of my nephew's birthday parties. He doesn't do the bowling birthday parties anymore, and now I'm sad. This is my starting point with it, and I am currently at 0.5%. Any of my full coverage pieces, I think I already said this, but any of my full coverage pieces that are not already in a diagonal, I'm going to convert into a diagonal. Next up is from the Cross Stitch Studio. This is Christmas Shops. And artwork is by Betsy Brown, and this is what it's going to look like when it is done. I'm realizing right in this very moment that I have a lot of Christmas pieces that have been picked. This is my starting point with it. And I am sitting at 0.5%. This is a big one. Okay, next up is one that you guys have seen recently. This is Family Vacation. This is probably my second favorite because Cosmic Bowling I really do love a lot. This is probably my second favorite Heaven and Earth Designs piece that I have right now. I think, I don't know. It's so, there are some pieces I really, really love. So Family Vacation, Max Colors. Artwork is by Amy Stewart. And Dinky. When I showed this the last time, this is my starting point with it. When I showed this the last time, I was like, it reminds me of the movie National Lampoon's Vacation. And, you know, I was like, oh yeah, you know, there's the family truckster. And, you know, this reminds me of when they were like in Dodge City and he, you know, the bartender, like, you know, pretended to shoot him. And then, you know, you have the dog, and I couldn't remember the dog's name. And a couple of you guys reminded me, thank you. The dog's name is Dinky. So anyway, this is my starting point with it. I am in the middle of converting it into a diagonal, so I still have stitches over here. And this is at 0.28%. I think when I film my floss tube, I might have to lower my phone a little bit so it's not getting the light behind it's not blocking. Or maybe I could just move my light closer. I could do that too. Okay, next up is from Charting Creations. And I think I have something from every single one of my full coverage designers that I buy from. That's great. I'm happy about that. Okay, next up is Apple Pie Harvest from Charting Creations, and this is artwork is by Janet Kruskamp. I really love this piece right here. It reminds me of like a 1950s grandma's kitchen. I just absolutely adore it. And there's a needle in the package from a kit, not from this, so I don't know where that came from. Last year I had a goal to complete page 1, which I did. But this is my starting point with it. And I am currently at 5.3%. So this will be over 10% once its goal is done, because I have 8,900 stitches and I'm at 5%. So adding 10,000 stitches to it will be more than 5%. Can't math right now. Next up, this one's still in the Q-Snap. It's been so long. Next up is from Pain Free Crafts. This is a retired piece. Day to Night Iceland. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my God, where is it? Where did it go? Here it is. Okay. Retired piece from Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Lars Stewart. This one is Day to Night Iceland. I freaking love this so much. And let me tighten this Q-Snap up a little bit. I stopped working in Q-Snaps for a while, but sometimes I'll go ahead and pull them back out. But when I was working on this, I was using Q-Snaps. But that's my starting point with it. And I am currently at 3.84%. I failed my goal miserably last year. I wanted to get it to 12%. Not even close, but that's okay. Now I just have a very relaxed goal of getting 10,000 stitches on it. So I'll double the progress that I've made because I have 9,800 stitches on it right now. And I will convert this one into a diagonal too. So it's gonna look weird until I get it all. Last one Day to Night North America. Same company, same designer. Can't find it. Here it is. Day to Night North America by Lars Stewart, retired piece from Pain Free Crafts. That's what that one's going to look like. I have all 4 of them. There's North America, Africa, Iceland, and Tropics. This is my starting point. This one in particular is available now on the Heaven and Earth Designs website, but it's under a different name. But if you search under Lars Stewart on their website, you'll find this particular piece. I am currently at 0.5%. So there's that. Okay, so quick recap of what the goals are in case you kind of forgot what I said at the very beginning of this very long video. Full coverage pieces. So I'm limiting myself. So take this idea and run with it if you wish. If you want to try to do something like this with your own plans, go for it. I don't mind. I really do not mind. I got, like, this is not my original idea. I got this idea from Kelly at Kel's Stitches. So, you know, it ain't mine to gatekeep and hold on to. So take this idea and run with it. Just do me a favor, because this happened to me last year and I didn't say anything about it. I didn't even comment on the video. Mr. Whiskers, my baby. Oh, where's that bag? Okay, hang on. He's heavy. He's 17 pounds. Look, you see what I mean? My boy. Okay. Okay, so do me a favor, because this happened to me last year and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, just don't be rude about it. If you want to use this idea, great. I don't care. But don't basically do exactly what I do. Tag me in your floss tube if you have one, and then not even acknowledge me throughout the entire video. I'm not saying like, oh, I want credit. Like, I don't get anything out of it. But this happened to me last year. Somebody literally drew from a basket, had a board they were crossing things off on. Like, exactly what I do, tagged me in their video, and then didn't say one word about me. I'm like, what is that? What is that all about? I didn't even comment on the video. Because, like, you know, I've always said this. I've always said these are not my original ideas. I didn't invent the idea of drawing something out of a basket. But don't do my format. Tag me so that I can see what you're doing, and then just not even mention me. Period. Like, you could even if you just say, "Oh, I watched this person." Like, I don't know. That bugged me. That bugged me. I'm still thinking about it. It happened last year. So, anyway, recap of the plans. It's like that just popped in my head and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, recap of my plans. So I've got 20 full coverage pieces, 20 non-full coverage pieces to pick from. 10 are my picks, 10 are random picks. Full coverage pieces, goals of 10,000 stitches. Non-full coverage pieces, goals of 5,000 stitches. New starts, goals of 3,000 stitches. Potential finishes, work on them until they are done. When the new starts get pulled, I will, if I choose to start it that week, I will start working on it, and then it will go into either the full coverage or non-full coverage basket, depending on what type of project it is. It will still have the goal of 3,000 stitches, but it will go into one of those baskets. I will have a max of 5 new starts going at once. Once the new start goal gets completed, it will go away. I will replace it with a new start. New start. Once one of the 10,000 or 5,000 projects goals get done, if it's a project that I picked, I will pick the replacement. If it was a random draw, it will get randomly replaced. If the non-full coverage piece gets 5,000 stitches and it is close to being a finish where it would be less than another 5,000 stitches to get done, it will go into the potential finishes basket. And then I will pick from that until it's done. Each week I plan on picking 2 full coverages and 2 non-full coverages, 1 new start and 1 potential finish. Because I will also have my Haid Sal, Honeymoon Sunset, and then my piece that I'm doing that my older son specifically asked me for. And then my Whip of Shame. I will still continue with the Whip of Shame. I will pick towards the end of August, I will pick 2 more and let you guys battle it out. So in about 2 weeks, I'll pick 2 more pieces and let you guys vote on which one you want to see. And then I will have the new Whip of Shame for the month of September. And the Whip of Shame has a goal of approximately at least 100 stitches a day. So ideally, however many days are in that month, times that by 100. So my current Whip of Shame should have at least 3,100 stitches in it by the end of August. So that's it for my plans, my new plans that I'm changing up again. If you have any questions, comment down below. Oh, and then for tracking, real quick, for tracking, I'm going to keep the board that has my finishes listed, and the 2 sals. I'll keep that board, but the other ones are kind of retired right now. I have dry erase boards that I'm going to write all my stuff out on. It's gonna be a late night. I have dry erase boards that I'm going to write all my projects out on, and I'm debating, depending on how I have to list them, I'm either going to have the project with how many stitches have been done on it, or I will have the project, how many stitches have been done and how many stitches are remaining. I have a few different boards, and then I'll have, I have a few different boards, so I might be able to, do the 3 columns, because I think I got 3 boards, 3 dry erase boards. They're not super big. They're not as big as Kelly's, but they're about this big, I think. Big enough. So yeah, I'm excited. I am going to end the video, kind of move my this stuff out of the way, and then do sort of a half-ass floss tube so I can show the progress of what I've worked on so far, and then pull my new projects. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And like I said, if you have any questions about the plans, go ahead and ask me down below. I'm more than happy to answer them. Take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.